A lot of men have
Let
completely.
me just rewind it. Hold
There's
on,
this
guys.
move.
I just want to react to this quick video. It says average men don't date anymore. Here's why. Is Let me know in the comment section. Is this true? Is it not true? You know, but just let me know.
Movement going around that a lot of men have completely checked out of dating.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna skip up a little bit because that intro goes a little crazy.
Not sure, but I think that it can happen. So one of the main reasons why a lot of guys have checked out of dating, at least for the average man, is dating the average woman isn't fun. Cold approaching the average woman isn't fun. Texting the average a woman isn't fun.
Is it true? Is this true, y'all?
It's not fun. The whole process isn't fun. There used to be a time where dating was fun because the person was just as excited to see you as you were to see them. They were just as excited to get approached as you were to approach them.
Honestly, I don't know if I've ever. I'm thinking about it. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I think it probably goes both ways. Like, regardless, it's isn't it the man who chooses? Honestly, I'm not making any excuses for men no more because men literally, you know, go on these like not these dating apps, but like they go on like OnlyFans, and I heard like some sort of house that they made for OnlyFans girls, and they got 3 mil, like from just mainly dudes. It's dudes who just can't control themselves. So like, I guess they kind of mess up the whole market. If guys were able to control themselves more, I feel like they wouldn't. The market would just be stable because you know women would have a harder time getting to an average guy because everybody kind of has their shit in their pants. For real. I'm dead serious. Everybody has a shit in their pants, so they have to come correct now. It's not like you can just bring randomness. Nah, this guy's not gonna take me. He's not gonna take this. But now all that's kind of gone, and because majority of dudes they just can't even control themselves, and I think that's only gonna get worse. So honestly, I hard blame the guys. Honestly, I blame the guys. I genuinely blame the guys for this. Because if it was true, like if everything was really like you know, then a lot of the guys wouldn't even care. Like we would become the prize. Like if the guys literally just like kind of banded together and was like, you know what, we're not taking this. They got to come correct with this, and all of us did that. I'm telling you, I'm telling you. But like majority of people just don't have, or majority of guys don't even have self control nowadays. So like yeah, but like at the same time, it's like the internet and the media's kind of messed it up. But that's I feel like that's on guys, bro. I'm not gonna lie, but maybe that's just me. Tell me your thoughts.
But nowadays, because of the internet, because of people's over inflated value of themselves, they're playing these power games between each other. Oh, I like him a lot, but I have to convince myself that I don't like him so I can keep my cool and my composure. What? Like, what are we talking about? Oh, I do like him. I got his text 3 minutes ago, but I'm going to wait 30, 45, an hour, 2 hours to text him back because I don't want to seem thirsty or desperate. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? These are the games, and these are just like the tip of the iceberg type of games that a lot of guys have to go through in order to get to the person that they're looking for. Now, listen, I know there's a lot of guys that might come in my comment section and be like, "Yo, bro, you have to make sure that you're dressing well. That work on your confidence, power through that rejection. You know what I'm saying? Be courageous, be brave, right? Being that masculine, do all this other stuff." Listen, as a guy who used to not do any of those things, who then over the years became that person who was better, let me tell you this: what these guys don't tell you is the process is still the same. The process is still the same. Now, the BS that you have to deal with may lessen a little bit, but you still have to deal with BS. You could be the top tip top of the guy. he's still dealing with BS because what
I heard actually the richest people get cheated on the most. This is just what I'm. Look, I just what I heard. Life is fucked for men, bro. Nah, for guys, if you're a guy, you're fucked, bro. Doesn't matter what you do, bro. Doesn't matter what you do. No. I'm not gonna encourage bad behavior though. You know what I mean? Like obviously, be nice when you gotta be nice. You know, don't be. You know, just don't be extra. Yeah.
what happens is as you start to improve your life, as you start to have more conversations, you go through the rejections, you go on dates. Let's say you even found out the way that you're able to sleep with women consistently, right? Let's say you got that down. What happens is your standards start to improve because you've dealt with average and mediocre type of women.
This is what happened to Diddy, by the way. I'm just throwing that out there. He was just sleeping with all the bad girls apparently, and he just had enough of it. Like it's like I feel like it's a type of nihilism, bro. It's a type of void eventually that you're just gonna try to fill because now, even it's just honestly, I don't see a lot of pros for guys, bro. There's not a lot of pros. There's just so many cons.
And you're like, okay, I'm at the point now, I've worked on my social skills, I've worked on my body, I've worked on my money. Now I want a woman that reflects that. So that means you're constantly having to chase women who are out of your league, which I can't stand that term, but women who are more on your level. And that's where it's like a lot of guys who get a bunch of girls, usually they're getting girls who are below them, right? Girls who don't work on their social skills, girls who don't work on their bodies, girls who don't know how to be feminine. This is the reason why a lot of guys are checked out because it's like when oh my gosh, I know some of you guys can relate to this. You guys ever have a conversation with a woman and she has no idea how to have a conversation? And you're thinking, I think to myself, I'm like, wait a minute. I've worked in female dominated places, right? A restaurant. I've worked in a restaurant. Women talk all day about nothing. All day. It's a skill. They talk about nothing. They tell stories that have no ending. I've seen women talk a lot. And when I talk to women, it's like I'm talking to a person who lacks social skills.
Sorry, yo, that was crazy. That was crazy. He said, he said, listen, I'm just quoting what he said. All right, he said, women tell stories that don't have endings. He said they tell stories that don't have endings, yo. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, like, why does he look like he's been betrayed? I'm sorry, bro. This face is the face of a person who's been betrayed, bro.
I'm like, how? How? A lot of women don't have minds of their own, and it's so disappointing. And if they do have a mind of their own, it's usually like the most, like they're trying to have like this boss babe archetype that they pride themselves on having a mind of their own. It's like a person who's good looking, who does everything to prove that they're good looking. It's like we know you're good. You don't have to prove it. You know what I mean? It just comes off weird, and that's where a lot of these things come from. Getting numbers sounds good in the moment until out of the 20 numbers, 18 don't text you back. The 2 that you set up on one flakes, and the other one shows up, and it's like one of the worst dates possible because she doesn't know how to be a woman. Oh my God, there's so many stories that I have for this. Let me tell you one of these stories, man. I can't stand this story, bro. It pisses me off just thinking about it.
He said it pisses me off just thinking about it. Hold up. This guy's cheese, bro. I think he just had enough, yo.
I was having a conversation with this woman. We were texting.
I'm sorry. Listen, we'll do the reverse too. We're gonna see like why girls don't date men or something. Like we're gonna do the reverse because we can't just have it one-sided for real.
And for me, my dating strategy at least in the past, very straightforward. I talk, I want to make something happen as soon as possible. I don't want to waste time and FaceTime and calling. I'm not doing any of that. I want to set up a date as fast as possible. So we were talking, we were just kind of shooting the shit, and she was like, I make like a mean burrito.
Oh,
And I was
dope.
like, I was teasing. I'm like,
Yo, that's fire. Burrito's crazy. Burrito's nice.
oh, you don't make a better burrito than me.
Chill. See, now you're injecting stuff. Just say you make a mean burrito. Oh, that's dope. Like, yo, can we make burritos together or something? Like, you just play it off. Like, you're adding a challenge. You're adding a challenge. She probably interpreted what you said as a challenge, bro, instead of like a playful, ha ha ha, tee hee hee. They don't understand that. Most of the time, they don't understand that.
And she was like, oh, you want to bet? So me, naturally, going off of that conversation,
Okay.
I'm like, okay, you could come over and make a burrito. Like, make me a burrito.
Okay, see, now you say you make me a burrito. Now we're already too dominating. Too dominating. You said you come over and make me a burrito. Okay. All right.
In my mind, right? In my mind, I'm like, she comes over, she makes a burrito, we taste it, I make a burrito, we taste it, and then the person who makes the best burrito wins, right? Cute little date. The text that she sent me after I said that, she said, if you think I'm gonna cook for you, you got me effed up. And she spelled out the F word. And I'm
What? I don't know what look at this face.
I was thinking to myself, like, what? Where does that come from? And so I sent her the text back. I was like, first of all, I let her know. I said, listen, I've never been so turned off so fast in my life. And then I told her, like, I meant that you're going to cook a burrito. We're going to eat. I told her basically what I just explained to y'all. And she goes, oh, well, I said that because my roommate is the only person that I cook for. That made it worse. Because let me get this straight.
To the roommate.
You're completely fine cooking for
a roommate, but you're not.
But
somebody that
you're not fine with cooking for somebody
that you want to go
have the potential to be in a long-term relationship with. Tell me how that makes sense. It made it worse. So she tried to double back. I can't even do it because I've never been so turned off. And it's like, where did that even come from? And it's like, that's just like, again, that's like the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this stuff, man. A lot of women just don't know how to act. And again, a lot of them have been programmed to do this. Now, again, it's also their fault for not working on themselves the same way they require men to. But a lot of them have been told that, listen, as a woman, as long as you have the box, you don't have to do anything. You can just sit back, and the man is supposed to do everything for you. And listen, as a man who has went from not knowing anything to going through all the knowledge to doing all the approaches to setting up dates to figuring out the formula of how to getting laid consistently, let me tell you what happens when you start getting laid consistently. A lot of you guys know this already. But for the guys who don't know this, what happens when you start getting laid consistently is you stop wanting quantity and you start going after quality. If you ever follow a guy who does a bunch of approaches or players or guys who get women, 9 times, every single time, those guys would give up all of their women if they found a good girl to date. Every single time. Because what happens is you realize when you're going on these dates is that the average woman doesn't talk about anything. She doesn't talk about anything. And it's like she has nothing going on for herself. And like I said, again, I'm talking about the average woman. I know there's women out there, because again, I've had great experiences with dates. I've had great conversations with women, right? I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but it doesn't exist on average. That's what I'm talking about. The average woman doesn't have hobbies. The average woman isn't feminine. The average woman doesn't act like a girl anymore. She acts like this boss babe archetype that her only mission is to make herself unlikable to men. but secretly deep down wants a relationship. It's weird. It's weird, and a lot of people don't
We'll
talk
see.
about it.
Yeah,
And here's the
that's true.
thing, because I've boiled it down to this, and I think this is going to be my last point. I've boiled it down to this. The reason why there's so much turmoil when it comes to dating, at least in the West, is because it's not because of the conscious thought of the woman, right? It's because a lot of women hold the opinions. They value the opinions
Of others.
other women higher than they do of their own or the person who is trying to take care of them for the rest of their life. And so what happens is she may like a guy who's 5'7". She doesn't mind it. It doesn't matter. He may be 5'7". There's the average run-of-the-mill guy. And she's cool with it. But the fact that she has to go tell her friends that, or the fact that she has to post that on the internet and receive backlash from that, will completely stop her from dating that individual. And it's absolutely ridiculous. This is what I've learned as I started traveling. You guys know I travel. When I went out of the country, it was such a breath of fresh air when it came to dating, because I realized how screwed up American dating is. You don't realize how screwed up it is until you recognize that it's normal here, but it's completely foreign somewhere else. And listen, I could go deeper into that of how it's different overseas. But again, the thing about it is, like I always say this, like overseas isn't some Mecca. It's not some Garden of Eden. It's not some place where everything works out in your favor. What happens is the ratio changes. And what I mean by ratio is, if you're approaching in America, depending on what city that you live in, right, as the average guy, you're going to have, here's how it's going to go. Approach, BS approach, BS approach, BS approach, BS approach, get a number but she doesn't text you back, BS approach, BS approach, BS approach, get a number, you guys text but she doesn't go on a date, BS approach, BS approach, BS approach, get a date. Date doesn't go well. BS approach, get a date. She shows up for the date, you have a good time, but you guys just aren't into each other. And then maybe after you do that a whole list of times, and of course there's sex in between all that, right? But maybe you get that one girl who you like, and you're like, wow, this is a really good girl. I hope she likes me the same much I like her, and you guys go out and maybe you have a long-term thing there. When I dated overseas, it was like this: BS approach, number, girl didn't text me back, date. I was like, wait a minute. Why is that? Again, the BS approaches were still there.
Why is
the
that?
delusional single mothers were still there. But the ratio of how many times I've ran into a woman who was normal, who I could go out on a date with, that increased dramatically, to the point that it didn't even bother me when I would get BS approached or when I would text a girl who's just wasting my time. Because the amount of options that I could generate was like, oh, it's fine. Oh, okay. Oh, she was leading me on. Oh, okay, that's cool. Because it was easy enough for me to get somebody else. But here, it's like you get one person, and a lot of guys cling on to that one person.
Because it's like, because the rarity, bro. It's like it's like trying to get a skin in Valorant, bro. It's the same science behind getting a skin in Valorant. Hear me out. I'm cooking, bro. So what they do is they release these bundles. These bundles have some crazy skin in there, and then one skin is probably like $20-$30, okay? They make you wait and it's so long that you don't even know until once you have it, it's like you have to have it. They make you really, it's like a survival instinct where it's like they produce a chemical in your brain that makes you have to have it, so you cling on to it for dear life, and you make sure that you have that purchase because you don't know the next time you're gonna see it. Same thing. So it's like it seems like the same thing right here, bro. It's just a rare Vandal skin, bro. It's just a Vandal skin. You ain't never gonna see one in like a year, dog. So you gotta keep it. It's like a Vandal. It's literally the same science behind the Vandal skin, bro.
It was such a horrible time just to get to that point. But now you come off as desperate.
Such a horrible time. You come off as, yo, this reminds me of Valorant. I just feel like he's talking about Valorant, bro. Like, am I just like a nerd? Like, I feel like he's literally talking about Valorant. Like, I don't know why, bro.
Now you see him as needy, and that just ruins the whole thing. Listen, dating in the West is broken, man. It's broken. A lot of guys have simply given up, and I completely understand why. But to my message for you guys out there who have completely given up, at least if you're deciding to date in the West, or you're completely like, I'm gonna stay here for the rest of my life, that's fine. Godspeed to you guys. I wish you the best. But for my other guys who still have that slimmer of hope and don't mind leaving the country, or at least traveling to a different state or city, try that. Because some places you may be a 4, other places you may be like an 8. Some places you may be a 6, the other places you may be a 1, right? It's not until you get to a city to where you're desired as a man, where you're like, okay, I
Yeah,
can do
that's
this.
actually
And I
true. That's
promise you,
actually
it
true.
changes everything for you, because the results that you're getting is that much better. So, man, I feel like I could go on a long ramble about this. If you want a part 2 to this, put in part 2 in the comment section. And if you made it this far, type in, oh, what should we type? I was gonna say keep dating, but just type in checked out.
Just type in checked out, yeah. All right, man. I think that's it for this.